A mechanic applies 10 pounds of force to a wrench handle 2 ft long. How much torque is generated? A. 20 ft-pounds. B. 25 ft-pounds. C. 40 ft-pounds. D. 15 ft-pounds. The correct answer is 20 ft-pounds. Torque equals force lever arm length equals 10 2 equals 20 ft-pounds. How many days are in 2 weeks? A. 13. B. 21. C. 14. D. 15. The correct answer is 14. Multiply weeks by 7. 2 7 equals 14 days. A triangle has a base of 16 cm and a height of 4 cm. What is its area? A. 64. B. 16. C. 32. D. 48. The correct answer is 32. Area of a triangle equals base height 2 equals 16 4 2 equals 32 cm. What is the greatest common factor GCF of 18 and 27? A. 18. B. 10. C. 9. D. 8. The correct answer is 9. The largest number that divides evenly into both 18 and 27 is 9. A hydraulic press has a small piston with an area of 2 in and a large piston with an area of 20 in. If 25 pounds of force is applied to the small piston, how much force is exerted by the large piston? A. 275 pounds. B. 225 pounds. C. 250 pounds. D. 500 pounds. The correct answer is 250 pounds. Hydraulic force multiplies with piston area. F2 equals F1 A2 A1 equals 25 22 equals 250 pounds. Passage. Composite materials, made by combining two or more distinct substances such as carbon fiber and resin, have transformed modern aircraft construction by offering a strength-to-weight ratio superior to traditional aluminum. While early aircraft relied almost entirely on metal airframes, modern military and commercial aircraft increasingly incorporate composite panels, particularly in wings and fuselage sections, reducing overall weight and improving fuel efficiency. Composites do present unique maintenance challenges. However, since internal damage is not always visible on the surface and often requires specialized inspection equipment to detect. Question. According to the passage, composite materials are increasingly used in which aircraft sections? A. Wings and fuselage sections. B. Only the cockpit instrument panel. C. Only the landing gear. D. Only the engine nacelles. The correct answer is wings and fuselage sections. The passage states composites are increasingly incorporated particularly in wings and fuselage sections. Passage. Sound travels faster in water than in air, roughly 4 times faster because water molecules are packed more densely and transmit vibrations more efficiently. This property makes sonar sound navigation and ranging a natural fit for underwater detection, where radar's radio waves are quickly absorbed. Active sonar emits a pulse and listens for its echo to determine range and bearing, while passive sonar simply listens for sounds generated by other vessels, offering stealth at the cost of less precise location data. Question. Why does the passage state that sonar, rather than radar, is used underwater? A. Radar's radio waves are quickly absorbed underwater. B. Sonar is cheaper to manufacture than radar. C. Sonar works only in freshwater. D. Radar cannot detect objects of any kind. The correct answer is radar's radio waves are quickly absorbed underwater. The passage explains that radar's radio waves are quickly absorbed in water, making sonar the natural choice for underwater detection. The ratio of officers to enlisted personnel on a training deck is 3:5. If there are 32 people total, how many are officers? A. 16, B. 8, C. 20, D. 12. The correct answer is 12. The ratio has 8 total parts. Each part is 32, 8 equals 4, so officers account for 3 parts, or 12. What is the 10th term of the sequence 2, 9, 16, 23, A. 66, B. 65, C. 72, D. 58? The correct answer is 65. This is an arithmetic sequence with first term 2 and common difference 7. The nth term equals 2 and 17. For n equals 10, 297 equals 65. What is 3534? A. 19,683. B. 972. C. 6,561. D. 59,049. The correct answer is 19,683. When multiplying powers with the same base, add the exponents. 354 equals 39 equals 19,683. Passage. Underwater acoustics presents unique challenges compared to sound propagation in air, largely because water's properties, such as temperature and salinity, vary with depth and location, bending sound waves along curved paths rather than straight lines. This bending, called refraction, can create shadow zones where sound from a source may not reach a receiver even at relatively close range, while other areas may receive unexpectedly strong signals from distant sources. Submariners and sonar operators must account for these effects when interpreting sonar returns. Question: what is the main idea of this passage? A. Variations in water properties bend sound waves in ways that complicate sonar interpretation. B. Sound behaves identically in water and air. C. Shadow zones make sonar completely useless underwater. D. Water temperature has no effect on sound propagation. The correct answer is variations in water properties bend sound waves in ways that complicate sonar interpretation. The passage explains how varying water properties cause sound refraction, creating complications like shadow zones that sonar operators must account for. Who is generally credited with achieving the first sustained, controlled, powered flight of a heavier-than-air aircraft in 1903? A. The Wright brothers. B. Charles Lindbergh. C. Amelia Earhart. D. Chuck Yeager. The correct answer is the Wright brothers. Orville and Wilbur Wright achieved the first sustained, controlled, powered flight at Kitty Hawk, North Carolina, in 1903. Visibility, as reported in aviation weather, refers to A. The greatest horizontal distance at which prominent objects can be seen. B. The vertical distance to the cloud base. C. The distance between two runways. D. The range of an aircraft's radar. The correct answer is the greatest horizontal distance at which prominent objects can be seen. Visibility measures the horizontal distance an observer can clearly see and identify prominent objects, critical for flight safety. Passage. The concept of defense in depth describes a layered security strategy in which multiple independent lines of defense are established, so that if an adversary breaches one layer, additional layers remain to stop or slow further advancement. This principle appears throughout naval strategy, from the layered air defenses protecting a carrier strike group ranging from long-range fighter patrols to close-in weapon systems to cybersecurity practices protecting shipboard computer networks from digital intrusion. No single layer is expected to be perfect. The strength comes from the combination. Question: what is the main idea of this passage? A. Defense in depth relies on multiple independent layers, so no single layer must be perfect on its own. B. A single, perfect defensive layer is more effective than multiple layers. C. Defense in depth applies only to cybersecurity, not physical defense. D. Carrier strike groups rely on only one layer of air defense. The correct answer is defense in depth relies on multiple independent layers, so no single layer must be perfect on its own. The passage explains that defense in depth strength comes from combining multiple layers rather than relying on one perfect layer. A recruit's test score rises from 60 to 66. What is the percent increase? A. 5, B. 20, C. 10, D. 15. The correct answer is 10. The increase is 6. Divide by the original 60. 660 equals 0.1 equals 10. Passage. The Panama Canal, completed in 1914, dramatically reduced the maritime distance between the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans by allowing ships to cross Central America rather than sail around the southern tip of South America. Before the canal, a voyage between New York and San Francisco could stretch to over 13,000 miles around Cape Horn. The canal shortened that route to roughly 6,000 miles. The project required massive engineering effort, including a system of locks that raise and lower ships to Gatun Lake, which sits 85 feet above sea level. Question: what is the main idea of this passage? A. The Panama Canal dramatically shortened maritime travel between the oceans through significant engineering effort. B. The Panama Canal was built primarily for tourism purposes. C. Ships can no longer sail around Cape Horn. D. Gatun Lake is the largest lake in the world. The correct answer is the Panama Canal dramatically shortened maritime travel between the oceans through significant engineering effort. The passage focuses on how the canal shortened travel distance and the engineering locks elevated lake required to do so. On a nautical chart, 1 inch represents 500 nautical miles. How many nautical miles does 5 inches represent? A. 5,000. B. 2,500. C. 2,000. D. 3,000. The correct answer is 2,500. Multiply the map distance by the scale. 5,500 equals 2,500 nautical miles. Passage. Ocean currents, driven by a combination of wind, water density differences, and the Earth's rotation, move enormous volumes of water across the globe, influencing both climate and navigation. The Gulf Stream, one of the most powerful currents, carries warm water from the Gulf of Mexico up the eastern coast of North America and across the Atlantic, moderating the climate of Western Europe. Ships have long used favorable currents to reduce fuel consumption and travel time, planning routes that take advantage of a current's direction and strength. Question: according to the passage, why do ships plan routes around ocean currents? A. To reduce fuel consumption and travel time. B. To avoid all contact with warm water currents. C. To increase the ship's overall weight capacity. D. To comply with international shipping law. The correct answer is to reduce fuel consumption and travel time. The passage states ships use favorable currents specifically to reduce fuel consumption and travel time. On a ship, the term starboard refers to A. The right side when facing the bow front. B. The left side when facing the bow. C. The bottom of the hull. D. The top deck. The correct answer is the right side when facing the bow front. Starboard refers to the right side of a vessel or aircraft when facing forward toward the bow. A loading ramp is 12 ft long and rises to a platform 6 ft high. What is the ramp's ideal mechanical advantage? A. 6. B. 2. C. 12. D. 31. The correct answer is 2. The ideal mechanical advantage of an inclined plane is length height equals 12 6 equals 2. The front of a ship is called the A. bow, B. stern, C. beam, D. Keel. The correct answer is bow. The bow is the forwardmost part of a ship's hull. Two meshed gears are in direct contact. Gear A has 60 teeth and rotates clockwise at 12 rpm. Gear B has 40 teeth. What is Gear B's speed and direction? A. 18 rpm clockwise. B. 18 rpm counterclockwise. C. 13 rpm counterclockwise. D. 23 rpm counterclockwise. The correct answer is 18 rpm counterclockwise. Meshed gears rotate in opposite directions. Speed is inversely proportional to teeth. RPM B equals teeth RPM A teeth B equals 60 12 40 equals 18 rpm counterclockwise. IFR stands for A. Instrument Flight Rules. B. International Flight Regulations. C. Initial Flight Report. D. In-flight refueling. The correct answer is Instrument Flight Rules. IFR Instrument Flight Rules governs flight conducted primarily by reference to flight instruments, typically used in low visibility conditions. If an object's velocity doubles, its kinetic energy becomes A. 4 times as much, B. 2 times as much, C. the same, D. half as much. The correct answer is 4 times as much. Since kinetic energy is proportional to velocity squared, doubling velocity quadruples kinetic energy 2 equals 4. Passage: the metric and imperial systems coexist uneasily in aviation. While most of the world uses metric units for everyday measurement, altitude is almost universally reported in feet, distance in nautical miles, and speed in knots, a holdover from aviation's early development in English-speaking countries. Fuel, by contrast, may be measured in gallons, liters, or kilograms depending on the country and aircraft type. This mix requires pilots and air traffic controllers to be fluent in converting between units, particularly on international flights. Question: what is the main idea of this passage? A. Aviation uses a mix of measurement systems that requires careful unit conversion. B. All countries use the metric system for aviation measurements. C. Fuel is always measured in gallons worldwide. D. Altitude measurement varies randomly by airline. The correct answer is aviation uses a mix of measurement systems that requires careful unit conversion. The passage describes the mixed use of imperial and metric units in aviation and the resulting need for conversion fluency. Passage: the Doppler effect, familiar from the changing pitch of a passing ambulance siren, also plays a critical role in radar systems used to detect moving objects such as aircraft or storms. As a radar signal reflects off a moving target, its frequency shifts slightly depending on whether the target is moving toward or away from the radar source. By measuring this frequency shift, Doppler radar can calculate not just an object's position, but also its speed and direction of movement, a capability especially valuable for tracking severe weather or intercepting aircraft. Question: according to the passage, Doppler radar is especially valuable for which two applications? A. Tracking severe weather and intercepting aircraft. B. Measuring ocean depth and predicting tides. C. Detecting underwater submarines and mapping the seafloor. D. Calibrating altimeters and airspeed indicators. The correct answer is tracking severe weather and intercepting aircraft. The passage explicitly names tracking severe weather and intercepting aircraft as especially valuable applications of Doppler radar. A drive gear with 30 teeth is meshed with a driven gear with 10 teeth. If the drive gear turns 8 times, how many times does the driven gear turn? A. 23. B. 26. C. 24. D. 25. The correct answer is 24. Rotations are inversely proportional to teeth count. 38-10 equals 24 turns. Passage. The Battle of Midway in June 1942 is widely regarded as a turning point in the Pacific theater of World War II. American codebreakers had partially decrypted Japanese naval communications, allowing the U.S. Navy to anticipate the location and timing of a planned Japanese attack. Despite being outnumbered, American carrier-based aircraft sank 4 Japanese aircraft carriers in the battle, a loss from which the Japanese Navy never fully recovered. Historians frequently cite the battle as an example of how intelligence gathering can decisively shift the balance of a military conflict. Question: what is the main idea of this passage? A. Intelligence gathering was decisive in enabling the American victory at Midway, a turning point in the war. B. The Battle of Midway was a minor, inconsequential naval engagement. C. American forces significantly outnumbered the Japanese at Midway. D. Japanese codebreakers anticipated the American attack at Midway. The correct answer is: intelligence gathering was decisive in enabling the American victory at Midway, a turning point in the war. The passage emphasizes how codebreaking enabled the American victory and frames the battle as a decisive turning point. A hydraulic press has a small piston with an area of 2 in and a large piston with an area of 10 in. If 30 pounds of force is applied to the small piston, how much force is exerted by the large piston? A. 180 pounds. B. 300 pounds. C. 150 pounds. D. 120 pounds. The correct answer is 150 pounds. Hydraulic force multiplies with piston area. F2 equals F1 A2 A1 equals 30 10 2 equals 150 pounds. A hydraulic press has a small piston with an area of 2 in and a large piston with an area of 10 in. If 40 pounds of force is applied to the small piston, how much force is exerted by the large piston? A. 200 pounds. B. 240 pounds. C. 160 pounds. D. 400 pounds. The correct answer is 200 pounds. Hydraulic force multiplies with piston area. F2 equals F1 A2 A1 equals 40 10 2 equals 200 pounds. How many did you get right? Let us know in the comments. And tell us what topics you want us to cover next. Want to practice more? Download the app and get hundreds of free practice questions with detailed explanations.